Paul, congratulations on the launch of your autobiography, One Hell of a Ride, very appropriately titled. You've had a remarkable career, Paul, over 1,500 winners. What have been the highlights for you?
The highlights would have been Bobby Joe obviously winning the Grand National, 2 Grand Nationals, the Irish and the English. Archibald, a lot of fun with him, won about 9 Grade 1s I think. Florida Pearl, Doran's Pride, a lot of good horses I've ridden over the years now.
I suppose winning a Grand National for your father back in 1999, I mean, it doesn't really get much better than that. And you bridged the gap, Paul, as well, from the last time that an Irish horse had won it, which was your father on Scargo in 75.
Yeah, 24 years waiting for Alice. It was brilliant now to win it for Dad. To break the mould for the Irish to win it, and they haven't stopped winning it since.
Absolutely, no, that's true. And Ruby follows you up then the following year with Papillon for his dad. Of course, Archibald, he was a brilliant horse, as you say. You won 9 Grade 1s, but he could also frustrate. He was a bridle horse. He was difficult to ride. But again, you know, a lot of people probably look back on the Champion Hurdle, and you say in your book that that's probably one of the great regrets, that you didn't win the Champion Hurdle on Archibald.
It is. I don't think there's anything I could have done on the horse to change the result, but he was a super horse to ride. Just he wasn't good enough on the day. Hard used to be a tougher horse, but got plenty of good races out of him, so I was happy with that.
And of course, Florida Pearl, one of the great horses down through the last couple of decades, and you had the pleasure of riding him with 2 victories on a few occasions.
Yeah, I got two Lexuses on him and 2 Hennessy's, I think. So he was great. He was a great horse to get the opportunity to ride. Lovely horse.
We were just saying, Paul, it's hard to believe it's 20 years since you rode your first winner, but it's nearly 20 years as well since you rode your first winner at the Cheltenham Festival. That was back in 1993, and you've gone on to ride 11 winners there at Prestbury Park. So a lot of good memories for you there as well. Yeah, a lot of good memories. Missed a few meetings there through injury and stick, but I got a good few winners. Didn't really get any of the big winners there, but got a few anyway. Yeah, and of course, you know, you had a couple of winners, most notably Sausalito Bay, first winner for Noel at the Cheltenham Festival, so that was a special moment. Yeah, it was very special for Noel to get off the ground there, finally get a winner. He's got a few more since then. But the day now that I won on him, I hurt my back during the race and was sore, so I couldn't really enjoy it as much as he did, but it was great for him. You have one of the longest serving jockey trainer relationships with Noel Meade, again going back almost 2 decades, Paul. Why do you think that partnership has remained so strong over the years? Good relationship. We work well together. He doesn't interfere much on how to ride a horse. He just lets me do my own thing. He trusts me on a horse, so and we have a good friendship as well, which is the main. Paul, many people, when you're asked to describe Paul Carberry, you say gifted, naturally talented, and indeed you're all of those things, but they also say you were a little bit wild, and that's certainly true. Do you think you've gotten bad press down through the years? Was a lot of it justified or warranted? I don't think there's any such thing as bad press. Done a few stupid things, but it doesn't really bother me too much, and as I say, there's no such thing as bad press. That's what I am. I suppose I can't change that. Yeah, you've had quite a number of issues with alcohol down through the years, and I suppose you've dealt with a lot of that in the book. You know, the failed breath tests, and you know, a number of different incidents. Of course, there was that incident, the famous incident of lighting the paper on the plane as well, Paul, which you've probably become infamous for. Yeah. But do you have any regrets from any of that? You must have had a great time as well. I had a brilliant time, so I can't really say I have any regrets. The regret is probably going into the room in Naas that day, but it was only a small bit over. I thought I had a chance at it, and it's not that you're falling over drunk, it's just you're a bit over the limit, so it is a bit unfair, but that's the racing rules, and I've had to give it up since that, so that's the way it is. At one stage, JP McManus offered you a nice inducement. It was £50,000 at the time to stay off it for 2 years. How did you manage to do that, Paul? And you know, why did JP make that very kind offer, do you think? He's a very, very kind man, and he knew as everybody else that I was drinking a good bit, and I was probably drinking a lot at the time because it was after coming out of an injury, losing my spleen, and it's just, I don't know, for some reason when you're nearly dead you sort of do that, you sort of make sure you live life, and probably needed a break off it, but it was nice of him to offer it anyway. And you've gone off it now, as you say, since the last incident, and you're happily sober at the moment. Yeah, and I knew I could go off it again, because when I went off it then, it was mind over matter. If I didn't mind, it didn't matter, and that was the way I treated it, and was able to live my life happily. So
You mentioned you lost your spleen. I mean, you know, you've broken nearly every bone in your body,
Yeah.
Paul. The game has taken a very, very high toll on your body, and you know, it really has taken a lot out of you. But you know, you're obviously teak tough, and you know, the one thing with national hunt jockeys is that even when they have a fall or a break, they're always thinking about getting back
Oh, yeah,
to the next horse. Is that true?
Yeah, you're thinking about how long you're going to be out and when you're going to be back riding. It's always the way. Like, I know of a lot of falls and a lot of breaks, but I still consider myself very lucky. There's nothing really too bad in me.
But there was one particular fall when you were out hunting that you was at the time you lost your spleen, and you were within 15 minutes of losing your life. Is that?
Yeah, no, that was on the gallops. I got a fall in Knowles shortly after I won the English National. Happened on the Tuesday, and there was a small bleed from my spleen till the Saturday I finally collapsed. And the doctor said I had 15 minutes left. If I wasn't caught, I wouldn't have been coming in. So, but now I got patched up.
So you lived to tell the tale.
Yeah.
A couple of other things. You mentioned about the incident with the newspaper. What were you thinking of, Paul, there? And did you fear that you might actually end up in jail?
I never really fear things. I don't worry, because I think worry only makes things worse. There's no point in worry. I said I deal with it when it happens. So that was the way I sort of dealt with it. And then luckily enough I didn't have to deal with it. So it was a stupid prank. It's me, foolish.
Moving on to another serious matter, you actually received a death threat at Punchestown after the festival from a disgruntled punter.
Yeah.
Paul, did that rattle you?
Not really. I knew just somebody talking through their pocket. Usually the next day they'd be alright, you would expect anyway. Didn't really rattle me that much. It's just hard to look out now for somebody suspicious when you're coming in, because there's always somebody suspicious or somebody's lost a fiver or a tenner. So not a whole lot.
You're 37 years of age now. I suppose your riding career, you may have a few years left. I don't know if you've even considered finishing at this stage, Paul. But what are your plans for the future? What would you like to do?
I'd love to live in a big house and not owe too many mortgages or things, but that's not going to happen. I don't know what I want to do afterwards. At the moment, my main focus is keep riding for as long as I can.
Okay, and you know, in terms of career goals, I mean, you mentioned you've ridden a lot of great horses and you've won a lot of big races. Is there anything in particular you'd like to win before your career is over, Paul?
I'd like to win a Gold Cup or a Champion Hurdle. Two of them. I've been second in both of them, but I'd like to get one of them on the board.
And you're going to have a few more years left to give that a shot?
Yeah, hopefully get the horses now. A few nice horses to ride, so hopefully one of them will come good enough.
Okay, we wish you the best of luck with that. Paul Carberry, racing legend, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.